Fresh out the oven, it is Cinema Bums coming to you live with a special episode.
Is this live?
Yeah, this is actually live on air right now.
Every time you click play, we have to
Yeah, we're just like,
re-record.
Wade, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm Wade. And how are you, Emmett?
I'm good. I'm Emmett. And I'm also good because we are joined this evening by our lovely artistic director, the head of our social media campaign, our general friend, roommate.
Your social media is managed by... That's what we say in the credits.
Oh, yeah. Who the social media is managed by. That would be her. Laura Bennett. Please welcome.
Woo!
I'm not always so sure I'm proud of the social media, but I do run it. So
It's great. It's great. What other film podcast has the memes?
None.
I haven't seen any.
I can't think of one.
To be completely fair, I don't listen to any other film podcasts because I
Nor
don't
do
help out the competition. But
Yeah, maybe our show would be a little better if we did, but we're not going to.
we're certainly not going to.
What are they talking about on those other shows?
Compare and despair, baby. I don't even want to think about it. So this evening, we're all feeling a little spooky. Ooh. Finally, dear listener, Bumtober is upon us.
Bumtober.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Now, I'm going to hand it over to Wade to explain how this actually works.
It's Bumtober. It's here at last. Our national nightmare is over. Bumtober is here.
Bumtober is here.
After we've spent countless months leading up to it.
Yeah.
So this is what has happened. You all, dear listeners, have sent us your series that you would like us to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so dearly for that.
Yes, thank you.
Almost 40 suggestions, and almost all of them have made it to this final list. Few had to be cut, and no offense to the ones that did.
Yeah, no offense. They're just not quite in our wheelhouse.
Or they might make it next year. You never know. How Bumtober is going to work is that you at home will have a chance to pick a series that we will have to cover. And
yes, we will be obligated to pick whatever series wins this. So our national nightmare is far from over.
True. Our national nightmare has begun. It's going to take place entirely on our Instagram. So you'll have to have an Instagram account. I'm sorry about that. But you can make a burner for this if you don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
And
good idea, too.
Follow us at Cinema Bums on our story, which is what happens when you click the little picture rather than the post. I'm saying this for our older audience.
Yes.
When you click the little picture, every day...
The profile picture.
Yeah, our profile picture. There will be a poll that will have two movies fighting each other. And all you have to do is click whichever of those two you would like to see us cover. And every single day, there will be a new two. We'll see the winner from yesterday, and then a new two movies will be pitted against each other. And this will happen throughout the entire month until Halloween, Bumhalloween, when we will reveal the winner.
When will that series be released?
Excellent question. The series will start at the top of 2022, at the start of the new year.
Wow.
That's because it takes us a little while, as you know, to watch the movies, to get the guests, to record the episodes. And also, we have two more series through the end of the year that are already planned out. One of them you'll find out about next week, which is our Halloween-themed series. It's not the movie Halloween. And then after that, we have, well... a festive series, I would say. A sentimental series. Yeah. Not Christmas-related, not holiday-related, but a sentimental, nostalgic, spending time with friends and family sort of series. Yeah. And that will take us cleanly through the end of 2021. And at the very start of the next year, we'll start whatever series is picked.
So exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
And and this will start Friday, October 1st.
And to let your friends know to vote. Gotta get that word out.
Yeah, you got to campaign. If you have a movie or series that you really want to see, like, you got to campaign and get that stuff to win because there are strong contestants all across the board.
There certainly are. Is there anything else?
Let's announce them.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have 16 matches in round 1. Every winner of the match will go on to round 2 to face a new competitor. But we're going to go through the 16 in round 1. This is not necessarily the order that they will be released in.
So to start off, we've got Spider-Man versus Batman.
Well, Spider-Man is about a boy who gets bitten by a spider. Batman is about a boy who gets bitten by a bat.
That's
and
correct.
you have to choose which one you want to watch along.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could decide whether you're more afraid of spiders or bats
True.
and then pick the opposite. That's another way to choose.
That's true.
Third way to choose would be whether you want to watch Uncle Ben get shot 3 times or the Waynes get shot 3 times.
Oh, yeah. That's another good way of thinking about it. Next matchup, we've got Wes Anderson, all the films directed by Wes Anderson, versus the Mamma Mia series.
Wes Anderson has been a popular one among our listeners. Anytime someone brings up Wes Anderson, I see a lot of likes in the comments.
Ooh.
Now, I've not seen any of the Mamma Mia movies.
Wow, I did not know that.
Laura, do you have anything to say about them?
Oh, they're fantastical. They're joyful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
We should probably list a few of the Wes Anderson movies.
So Wes Anderson, such films as Rushmore, Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs,
Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, etc. Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes.
You get the picture.
Has a new one coming out this month, I believe.
Oh, yeah, The French Dispatch with young Timothée Chalamet, where's he from? Our king, whatever. He's our king no matter where he's from. And
I think he's from New York. I think he grew up in like an arts incubator.
But he also speaks French. So I was like, is one of his parents French?
Yeah, must be. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
He smokes cigarettes like that. He must be French.
And now, of course, it's time for Everyday Chalamet, where we rank Timothée Chalamet's performance. What did we think of his performance in our Bumtober bracket?
I thought it was excellent.
How many movie series is he in the Bumtober bracket?
This may be the only one.
I apologize. This has been a massive oversight on our part. We might have to rewrite this entire bracket. Okay.
Well, he's going to play the Hobgoblin in the new Spider-Man movie. So
I thought we wanted this episode to be 20 minutes.
He's going to play the Baguette burglar in the Batman against Robert Pattinson.
Oh my God. Him versus Robert Pattinson is a rematch I would dearly love to see after The King. All right, next matchup, Holes versus Monster House. And this is a very special matchup. It's the only 2 single movies that we decided to put on our bracket.
But Monster House is just that good, baby. Vote Monster House. Make Emmett watch Monster House.
I hate Monster House.
How do you feel about Holes?
I would so much rather watch Holes.
I'm tired, Grandpa. That's too damn bad. You keep digging.
Is that from Monster House?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. The Ocean's films, most famous for Ocean's 11, the original Ocean's 11, the early 2000s remake with George Clooney, and Ocean's 8, the all-women remake of recent years. That's going to be versus Indiana Jones. He needs no introduction.
If adventure has a name, it must be Indiana Jones.
It must be.
Let me see. I've never seen any of the Ocean's movies.
Really?
Yeah. But it would be cool for the thing this podcast is about, because there is an original one from the 60s with Frank Sinatra. Mm-hmm. And then the one with George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Well, there's 3 with George Clooney and Brad Pitt in the middle there. And then there's the one with all the ladies.
Yes. On the other hand, Indiana Jones would be cool because those movies are good.
Yeah. And there's also a legacy sequel going on there as well.
And next year, our old friend James Mangold is directing Indiana Jones 5 with Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Antonio Banderas and Mads Mikkelsen. So if we do Indiana Jones, we'd cover that.
Yeah. And we get to watch another James Mangold.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue to announce some of our movie matchups. Our next movie matchup, I believe highly anticipated, is the Barbie movies versus Pokemon movies.
A lot of fan commotion for both of these series.
Yeah.
I just want to be upfront with our listeners. We know the Barbie is almost 40 movies long.
It's a lot of movies.
we are not guaranteeing that we will watch and record 40 weeks worth of Barbie episodes.
Yeah, we think that even if you think that's what you want, it's probably not actually what you want. So we will give you some of what you want, but not that many.
As a fan of the Barbie movies, I am familiar with a lot of them. So I feel like I know that I do not want all of those Barbie movies, and I like them.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully we'll be able to pick a good selection of them and go from there if Barbie makes it to the top.
Yes, I hope so. We've got a little bit of listener feedback here, too, from the suggestions you sent in. We've got a couple of selections. We actually missed one for Holes, so I'm going to read that now. This is for Holes, which is facing against Monster House. Our listener wrote, ridiculous enough to make sense, because, yeah, that would never happen, which is exactly why it would. Heartwarming and hysterical. I'm tired, Grandpa, too, but damn, I'm a dig a hole. Just digging holes until you run away. That's what our listener wrote in. So thank you for that. Here's a note from our friend Chandler Pennington, who I believe was on last week.
Last week's episode.
Okay, so this was a submission for the Barbie film series. Chandler wrote in and said, I would very, very much love for you guys to examine the Barbie film series. I will be up front and let you know this franchise has a whopping 36 installments, but I think it would be worth it. From what I remember of the few I watched growing up, they are very good and pretty feminist.
Now, this is also from a listener, from a beautiful point of view piece written to us by a listener. This is a brief excerpt in defense of the Pokemon submission. Cinema Bums is a podcast where Wade and Emmett watch through every single movie in popular film franchises and analyze how they change over time. Sometimes it isn't just the movies that change. Sometimes you change with them. I'm writing to formally request that the Cinema Bums cover all of the Pokemon movies for their next miniseries. With 23 released as of the writing of this email and a 24th on the way in December, this series would take approximately 6 months to complete. I would consider those 6 months well spent.
That is a long time.
That is a long time, and we're not guaranteeing we watch all of those either. But I would love to talk about Detective Pikachu.
Okay, so our next movie matchup is one near and dear to my heart, Shrek versus Fast and Furious.
Are you a big Fast and Furious fan?
No, I would not say that I am. I've only seen one.
Now, dear listener, I need you to understand that this is a true case of a house divided, because Wade loves Fast and Furious and Laura loves Shrek. I just want you to consider that.
I want you to consider that there will be, if Fast and Furious wins, there will be no more social media posts. We're going dark. We're going,
come on.
We're going dark. You won't see social media for Cinema Bums anymore.
Hey, kid, you like memes? You better vote Shrek.
Well, here's what I'll say about Fast and Furious. I love those movies, and what I always tell people are always like, are they really good? The Fast and Furious movies are like the smartest writers in the world set out to write the dumbest movies ever made. They're just like an incredible exercise in escalation. They're so fun.
They are that.
They're so funny.
I would say the same about the Shrek movies. All of what you said is true to the Shrek movies as well. That's why it's such a good matchup. That's an incredible matchup.
It is an incredible matchup.
I'm really curious to see what
Both of them
will win.
A really big, buff, bald lead.
All right, I'm moving forward. I'm not trying to put too much bias into that one. Just know that I love it dearly. It means a lot to me. And it would crush my heart if people didn't vote for it. Anyways, the next matchup is 50 Shades of Grey versus A Star is Born. Wow.
A lot of people clamoring for 50 Shades of Grey back when we did Twilight. Apparently, the Venn diagram of our fans and perverts is just a circle. And a lot of people want to hear us talk about 50 Shades of Grey.
No surprises there. On the other hand, A Star is Born, while perhaps would face some of the same problems that we saw in our Bedtime Story and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels miniseries, it is also like kind of the thing that we claim to be doing here. It's been made 4 different times.
Yeah.
So, and like each in a very different era of filmmaking. So it would be interesting, I guess, to watch.
I would actually kind of be really interested.
I'd
to
be
see it.
way more down to watch 50 Shades of Grey.
Just like, how does the same film look technically, across 4 different eras? That's really interesting to me. And we talk about Barbra Streisand.
And Judy Garland. And Lady
Lady
Gaga.
Gaga.
And Lady Gaga. Pretty good.
All right.
Okay. The final matchup I will be announcing here tonight is a big
You're
one.
retiring.
I'm retiring. I'm
Okay.
tired. It's a big one, folks. It is Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars. Can you believe that's on this bracket here?
Wow. I barely can. You've got to look into your heart and ask yourself, are you cool or are you a dork?
And we'll let you decide which is which.
We will let you decide.
We'll let you decide which of those things is which. 2 things can be true at once.
That is
Next.
anything you okay? We're not
Not
going to say
just
anything
gonna
about
talk
Lord
about
of the
it.
Rings
We're-
and Star
I just
Wars.
think-
I will just say that's
Cool
another
or a
house
dork?
divided sort of situation.
That is true. And to be clear, if we do Lord of the Rings, we are doing the 3 Hobbit movies.
Oh, true.
And if we do Star Wars, we are doing the holiday special and the 2 Ewok movies.
And all of the interstitial Star Wars movies as well.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. Okay, next matchup. Star Trek versus Mission Impossible.
The one year I was in concert band in high school, we played the Mission Impossible theme song. That's really my only opinion on either of those.
It seemed like more of a fact than an opinion. The 2 Simon Pegg series.
Oh.
Actually, both of these are like long-running series that are really interesting.
Star Trek is obviously time-wise is longer running, and I think movie-wise too, depending on which movies we do, right? Or
You
is
know
Mission
what the connection between these is?
What?
That I've just put together like an idiot.
What?
These are both film adaptations of TV shows from the 60s.
Oh.
Whoa.
Huh.
We did that on purpose. We
totally did
knew
that.
that.
And they
Yeah.
actually are both legacy sequels to the 60s show.
Huh.
Because in Mission Impossible, the main character of the TV show was not Tom Cruise, who plays Ethan Hunt.
Uh-huh.
It was another man. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But he's in the film as like the boss.
Interesting.
And Tom Cruise is like his new...
It's really
yeah.
cool.
But I love Mission Impossible. It's had a lot of prolific directors over the year. John Woo, J.J. Abrams, Christopher McQuarrie, Brad Bird, and it covers a lot of different eras of action filmmaking, which I think is really interesting. And I think the last one, Mission Impossible Fallout, is like best action movie since Mad Max Fury Road. Whoa. Really incredible.
I actually have another opinion about Star Trek, actually.
Yeah.
My parents met at a Halloween party, and my mom was dressed up as a character from Star Trek. That's my opinion on Star Trek.
The Daleks?
Who?
It's Doctor Who.
My dad was dressed up as a chicken, so not related to Star Trek, but he liked Star Trek, and my mom was dressed up like a girl from Star Trek.
Moving along, our next matchup is Sister Act versus the films of Taika Waititi, which include What We Do in the Shadows, Hunt for the Wilder People, Thor Ragnarok, and Jojo Rabbit. And I will say, Taika was our only series that was suggested twice.
Oh.
Totally unrelated by 2 separate people. It'll also be our first time talking about the MCU.
Cool.
And I think we have a thing here about Sister Act. Do you want to read this, Laura?
Oh, sure.
A listener email about Sister Act.
Sister Act 1 and 2, self-explanatory. Whoopi Goldberg, crime, spies, nuns, Lauryn Hill, oh happy day, love it, can't get enough. And I think that's a fair argument for Sister Act.
Yeah, and I will say Sister Act 2 is the best title, in my opinion, of any movie ever. Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. Our next matchup, the classic. Film fans have argued for decades about which of these 2 reigns supreme.
Truly, this is the matchup that everyone has been anticipating the most.
Right.
On
this
the
whole
lips of
bracket.
everyone's mouth. Empire Magazine has been writing about this for decades.
Yeah.
The Land Before Time versus the films of David Lynch. David Lynch, of course, the creator of Twin Peaks, and we talk about Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, his movie, as well as Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet.
The first Dune, right?
Yes, the original Dune.
Oh, yeah. Which would also be an interesting tie-in.
Anything to say for Land Before Time?
It was my favorite film series when I was like a very young child.
Oh,
Before I
wow.
could handle conflict and plot and all of those things, I loved these animated musicals about sweet dinosaurs.
They're musicals?
All of them except for the first one, I believe, are musicals.
Whoa.
That's new. I think I've only seen the first one.
Yeah.
I
The
love-
first one is really good, and the rest are musicals. Uh,
The next one we've got here, Pirates of the Caribbean versus Madagascar.
one of the greatest action directors of our time, like action comedy directors of our time, Gore Verbinski, directed these whack-ass movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, put Johnny Depp as a pirate in everyone's mind forever. Basically, he has only been playing Jack Sparrow for the rest of his career afterwards. So that's kind of interesting. And they're just like loads of fun. You get to see Keira Knightley slay every single scene ever. And also, I hear that Orlando Bloom is in those movies.
Wow, Orlando Bloom twice in Bumtober.
Wow.
Timothée Chalamet only once. Now for Madagascar, I have here a selection from a listener essay that was sent in. And this is truly wonderful. We will read it all if Madagascar is picked. We can't for time reasons today. But this says, Madagascar, for obvious reasons. A cultural reset, if you will. The catalyst for the lemur phase that most cool girls went through around 2011. Don't fact check the timeline here because time isn't real. We encounter zoo animals, engaging in subtle regional references to the great city of New Haven, Connecticut, which is a real treat for some people. Not for me, but I bet someone likes that. Ben Stiller disturbingly portrays himself in this live-action movie. It's not animated. If you look closely, it all really happened, if you wanted it to. But seeing Ben Stiller in his raw animalistic nature is pretty obnoxious.
Wow.
Wow. Next up, we've got a matchup that I think is like a real tough choice, all jokes aside. The Muppets, all of the films in the Muppets decades-long film series, or all of the films put out by Studio Ghibli, famous animation studio responsible for Spirited Away, Ponyo, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, among many, many others.
Including my favorite, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
Childhood favorite of mine.
And one of my favorite movies is about Spirited Away. So it's like so excellent.
Yeah, this is a tough battle. Muppets are big right now.
Yeah.
Muppet nostalgia is like at an all-time high at the moment.
It's interesting. It's probably because both people in our generation and our parents' generation are experiencing Muppet nostalgia for two different eras of Muppets. So that's kind of interesting. Next up, we've got the obligatory early 2000s comedy spot. That's going to be Look Who's Talking versus the Meet the Parents series. I don't really know much about either of these series. Never seen either of them.
No, I haven't either, and I wouldn't like to.
Meet the Parents is good. I remember it being a quality series. Hilarious.
And once again, it's going to be Ben Stiller on here twice.
Robert De Niro.
And Chalamet only once.
Ben Stiller twice.
Damn, I feel like something is afoot.
Why didn't you guys have Night at the Museum on this list anyway? That would have
no
been a
one
good one.
suggested
No
it.
one suggested it.
We could have had Ben Stiller a third time.
Dear listener, if you want Ben Stiller to be our only option for actor to talk about, you're going to have to suggest more movies next time.
Next year, baby.
Next Bumtober. A listener notes about the Look Who's Talking series. Because you guys seem dead set on torturing yourselves, please accept my recommendation of the truly horrendous Look Who's Talking trilogy.
I'm not sure that's quite the convincing
The argument.
right.
Yes, but I feel like some people do enjoy hearing us do the ones that we hate. So
It
that
is
might
good.
be fun for you.
And those people are voting for Barbie or Pokemon.
Right. So
Jeez.
next up, a matchup of two very frightening movies. For us, we've got Alien, the Alien movie series, and the Paranormal Activity movie series. There's two like kind of different takes on the horror genre for us. I like the Alien movies that I've seen. I don't think I've ever seen any of the Paranormal Activity ones, but I haven't seen all of the Alien movies.
Yeah, so we definitely do the original four. We do Alien versus Predator, and then we do Prometheus and Covenant.
Yeah.
The new ones. Yeah, I also like the Alien movies I've seen. I think the first one is really good.
Would we do AVP 2?
Yeah, we do both.
Okay,
all
right, cool.
But we wouldn't watch the individual Predator movies. I
No.
think.
And for our final matchup, almost
The big one.
The big one. I mean, I hate to say it, but I do think that one of these two movies is going to make it at least into the final four.
Wow.
I'm not going to say which of these two I think it is.
Wow.
But the options are the Silence of the Lambs series, which is brand new news to me that it's more than one movie, and the Air Bud cycle.
Now, Air Bud, as you know, as you may guess, was part of a continuing pitch by past and future guest Patrick J. Turner Jr. to cover the Air Bud franchise, which he maintains is the first cinematic universe ever put to film.
I think we'd have to fact check him on that.
And I'm here for it. I'm into it. We have actually a couple. Do you want to read something that Patrick has written about Air Bud here?
All right, I'm just gonna read this whole thing.
I think so.
Here we go. Hello, bums. I would like to take a moment as the world's only Air Bud historian to present the Air Bud series of films for consideration as the next subject of discussion for your podcast. The original quintology of films follows the adventures of Buddy, the sports-playing dog, and the Fram family in the small American town of Fernfield. These classic family movies are ripe for discussion and have been long overlooked by the academic film community for being unoriginal and bad. However, myself and others who grew up with these movies hold them in high regard and believe there is much to dissect about the production and the films themselves. The original series only spans 5 films, while the spin-off series, Air Buddies and Santa Paws, make up an extra 9 films for the franchise that I would argue are also worthy of discussion. I would like to add that these are the only other movies I have seen other than New Mutants 2020.
Well, I think everyone listening wanting to know more should check out Patrick's video essay called The Beauty of Air Bud. It is really good.
It is.
Has kind of swayed me into thinking that this would be worth doing.
It at least makes me want to watch the first one.
And I'm sure that someone, maybe somewhere, has done a video essay on the Silence of the Lambs. I don't know, so you could check that out too. So I asked a question about the Santa Paws movie included.
Uh-huh.
This is the second response that Patrick sent.
Well, what did you ask him?
I think I was just like, what's the deal? Do we need to watch these?
Okay.
And he wrote this. Air Bud is perhaps one of the first cinematic universes, spanning a total of 14 films from 1997 to 2013. The Santa Paws movies are the story of the titular Santa Paws, Santa's very own helper dog. They are prequels to the Santa Buddies movies, a part of the Air Buddies spin-off series, which focuses on the offspring of Air Bud helping the offspring of Santa Paws to save Christmas. As you can see, even a simple question with this series can lead down a deep rabbit hole, which I am currently unable to return from. I will warn you that should you review any of these films, the chance of them consuming your life is a very real possibility. Proceed with extreme caution.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, you heard it there, listeners. Sounds like the continuity corner would be wild on this.
I would love to get back into the continuity condo on this. Where does that leave us? Are we...
Well, that's the 16 matchups. Those will be the first 16 days of October, and after that, I'll move on to round 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're going to do one of these. We aren't going to do one of these specials for every round, but we'll check back in throughout.
Yeah.
And stay tuned to the Instagram at @CinemaBums, where this all will be happening.
Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to tell your friends.
Yes,
Give us a
vote.
follow if you don't follow us. So
Yeah.
you can stay up to date.
We'll see you on the court.
Yeah, we'll see you on the Instagrams. We'll see you at the ballot box.
That's right.
That's right.
Vote.
Pokemon Go, vote for Barbie.
All right, everybody, stay frosted.
Okay, love you
20
guys.
minutes, my ass.
Bye.
Cinema Bums is a production of DKG Podcasts. It is created and produced by Wade Lawrence Holloman and me, Emmett Temple. Wade also edits and mixes the podcast. Our theme music is by Zane Holloman, who you can find on Bandcamp, and our show art is by Autumn Beckner. Our social media is managed by Laura Bennett. If you like what you hear, please tell all your friends and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, the 2 best ways to spread the word about our work. You can also follow us on Instagram at CinemaBums or email us at cinemabumspod@gmail.com. Don't flake on us. We'll be back next week.